Hello again, beautiful people. Welcome back to another segment of Let's Analyze This. If it's your first time stopping by the show, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you're a returning guest, thank you so much for coming back again. Today we have a special show for you. We have another beautiful topic to analyze, and the topic for today is stay-at-home moms and stay-at-home dads. Should it matter who's really taking care of the home? So in essence, should it matter who's the full housewife or full house husband? So we're going to dig into this topic. But before we do, I'm going to introduce our panel to you. And as always, I have my lovely co-host with me, Talia, on the show.
Hey guys.
And we have our two returning guests again on the show. We have CJ first and foremost. Say hello, CJ.
Hello. Hello. Thanks for
And
having me back on.
thank you for coming on. And we also have Ade. Ade.
Hello.
So guys, if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, make sure you do so. It's free. Just click on the red button below it says subscribe and subscribe to our show. And make sure you share with family and friends so that they can rub minds with us. And make sure you leave your opinions in the comment section below so we can share our opinions with each other. Thank you so much, guys. So let's just dive right into the topic. So just thinking about it, whenever we hear somebody taking care of the home, I mean, we kind of briefly touched into this topic in the past, on the past episode, but really talking about home care and who, looks after children, for example. I just thought it would be a good conversation to have, to know why society is a certain way and why certain things are frowned upon. So let's talk about this topic. I want to go to you first, Ade. To when you hear, okay, I'm just gonna one thing. When you hear the term stay-at-home dads, what does it tell you?
Personally, it's not something I would do, but I guess we're in a Western world and things work differently. And like they say, what a man can do, a woman can do better. I mean, it depends on the agreement between the two people involved. I
Right.
mean, to the male and the female, it depends on the agreement, but it's not something I would
That you
personally,
personally.
yeah, I would do. No, it's not. It's not.
Okay, let me ask, you wouldn't personally do it, but
Yeah,
if you hear when it comes to home care, do you feel like a, do you feel like a woman would do a better job?
not necessarily. No, no.
Okay. All right, let me go to Talia next. Talia, what are your thoughts? When you hear stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad, would you frown on one more than the other? Would you ask for more explanation as to why somebody is staying at home when you hear either of both?
Absolutely. I mean, even though we live in a Western society, we have to always take it back to our roots and our upbringing. And when you
Right.
say stay at home dad, it's like, ooh, why is he staying at home? Can he not go out and work? Personally, though, I like the idea of stay at home mom better. That's because I'm a mom and I would like to stay at home. But yeah, jokes apart though, when it comes to stay at home dad, I think, unconsciously, because of our culture and the way we've been brought up, you tend to just, raise your nose up a bit when you hear that there's a stay at home dad. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, CJ? Do you feel like it's beneficial to society if anybody stays at home to take care for the children, so to speak, as opposed to, both parties going out to work?
Is this a permanent situation or is it temporary?
Let's talk about it from a temporary standpoint.
In that case, I don't see that it would be a problem. I think when you've got two people in a relationship together, it becomes a partnership, right? So
Right.
what you would do is what's best for that partnership. So if the circumstances dictates that the man stays at home, for example, because it makes more economical sense, for example, for the woman to go to work,
Okay.
because she probably earns a bit more, then so be it, but they have to discuss it and work out what's best for them. In this day and age, I think it doesn't necessarily matter who stays at home. But from where we come from, obviously, what you don't want to do is emasculate the man, for example. So he might not be comfortable staying at home, but that would be a personal thing. But if you have the conversation and it makes sense financially or otherwise that the man stays at home, then why not?
Okay, so finances will play a part in who decides to stay at home. Ade, I know you disagree with this, or we've previously touched on this, and finances you feel, might come in question, might be something that others will consider, but it isn't something that you would necessarily do. Am I correct?
Personally, I would not do, regardless of the financial situation, whatever may come. I will step up my game.
Okay, so
Personally,
what I want
yes,
to ask you is this.
I'm not
Where
against I'm not against the man staying at home. It's just not something I would do.
that you
One,
personally,
majorly because of where I'm from, it's
right?
kind of frowned upon. And it's just, I mean, it for me. It's just you're a man. You're a man.
Uh,
You're a man.
can I just jump in there? Sorry, I would ask the question. Do you care that it's frowned upon? I mean, or why do you care that it's frowned upon? Does
Right.
it matter to you what people think?
No, it's not exactly what people, but my own belief as well. I believe a man should step up.
Right, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, but you believe on it. You believe that based on your upbringing, based on what
yeah.
your society or what your culture or what is the norm from where you're from. That's correct, isn't it? Even though you've picked
Not
and dropped
necessarily,
certain things.
like I said, not just everything. It's everything together. A bit of
Yeah,
that, but
right.
most is my belief. Is what I think is right.
Yeah,
Is what
but as the society that you grew up in not shaped that opinion.
that's why I said they have a part to play. We are psychosocial, so that
Right.
has played a part as well.
Okay. I just want to say, okay, so in a place where a woman earns significantly more, where it will, there is no way you could come close to what that woman earns, where it financially just makes sense for
Mm-hmm.
for the man to sit at home. Talia, let me go to you with this. Where
Mm.
it makes all the sense in the world for you to be the breadwinner, so to speak, where you earn significantly more, where no matter how many out, just based on what you've studied, you don't necessarily have to pull longer hours, but just because of the amount you earn per hour, it just makes sense for you to be at work while your partner stays at home.
Mhm.
Do you not feel like it's something that should be considered as opposed to you just enjoying being at home with the kids?
I think regardless of the economical situation, like we've rightly pointed out, it is a partnership. So even if I'm earning more, I still expect you to, there's, for me, there's nothing like sitting at home. If it's a partnership and we are doing, we're both working, I still expect you to pull your weight, even if you're not bringing as much as I am. I have, there's no, I don't shy away from work. So in as much as I would love to sit at home and do nothing,
Right.
I still love to work. I love to hold my own. And regardless of how much I'm bringing in, I still think that,
Still expect.
and I know we've said that, our culture and that has a part to play. It does have a part to play. But being that we live in a civilized world, in as much as we want to say that, doesn't matter, I think it does matter to an extent. Like CJ pointed out, you don't want to make the man feel less of a man by, and regardless of how anybody wants to put it, a man will still always have his ego that will still play, even if he's very civilized. There's still certain things that men feel that they need to be bringing to the table. So even if I'm earning significantly more than him, I would still like for him to do something and bring something to the table.
So yeah,
Okay.
I think if I'm getting your question right, is if you need, if is it the cost of childcare and one of you needs is like
No,
the
I'm
woman.
talking about it from the stand, not just from the financial standpoint. Say, for example, as Talia said earlier, she would like to be a stay-at-home mom. Okay,
Yeah, but
where a man would like to be a stay-at-home dad,
the
because
main reason that would be considered would be what?
say that again.
Why would you consider staying at home? What would be the main reason if it's not financial
Because
point?
maybe I'm the better parent. Maybe because I don't want my
Yeah,
children to go to.
but why would you want to stay at home if it's not going to be
Because
financial?
you're a stay-at-home parent. A stay-at-home parent is someone that is parenting in the house. I'm not talking about when the children have, maybe he could be homeschooling. The children could be too young to go to school. So things like some people homeschool, and
Yeah,
mostly it falls upon the woman to homeschool their kids. So I'm talking about the standpoint of, okay, we live in a catchment area where the schools are quite okay, I want to teach my children at home, so I have decided to become a stay-at-home parent. Maybe I have some inheritance, maybe I want to go on, on benefits, maybe yeah, I want to rely on my wife's income to do that. So instead of her pay, so maybe I'm a man and I earn £1,000 a year.
So
Sorry.
basically, on the standpoint of
financial.
childcare, in
No,
essence,
yeah, so it's a
yeah.
stay-at-home
So
parent, yeah,
to look after the children.
yeah,
Ade,
stay-at-home.
yeah, that answers your question. To look after the children.
Okay, I mean, I was gonna say that sort of narrows it down quite specifically, because when I was thinking about this topic, I wanted to think about the most extreme case that I could use
Yes,
as an example.
Which
And the
is,
first, the first one that popped into my head was Mr. Stedman.
yeah.
oh, but
Right?
he's not
Okay,
a
I'm
stay-at-home
glad. I'm
parent.
glad. Oh no, he's not. He's not. But he's. I mean, what does he do? Right
Yeah,
now, are you trying to tell me that if there was a situation where one of them needed to stay at home, right, it would be
Oprah.
Oprah? This is what I mean. Like, I don't see that happening based on where she is and where he is. So
Yeah,
with that sort of situation, that was the first example that popped into my head. Now,
Right.
using the
I'm
childcare example,
I'm
that's quite
saying that I'm
specific.
saying
So
this from
Yeah.
a people that don't have children can't be stay-at-home parents. They will either be a full housewife or full house husband. I don't even know if if there's such a term, but I'm talking about stay-at-home parents, people who have children and stay at home to parent the children. The children aren't going to school yet. They do the childcare. They do, even when the children start going to maybe part-time school or some sort of outdoors activities, they take the children, pick them up, drop them there, make the food, and do.
So basically, the rationale for staying at home is about the kids.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
childcare. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
it's
and
actually quite
if
funny.
you feel like, if I feel like as a man I'm the better parent because my wife, maybe she's not maternal, maybe my wife, she's not a good cook, maybe my wife, she doesn't enjoy doing all of these things, and maybe it's just because my wife earns a lot more so she can afford for us to school our children at home, make sure our children have quality education, maybe because the husband has the better education and is more capable of taking better care and giving them, the better education. So from that standpoint, that's the standpoint that I'm looking at this from.
Yeah.
So does that change your stance on it,
No,
Ade?
which is what I was saying earlier. There's going to be a financial implication, which is major, and I think that is what you said. Is around childcare. Is around who is the better. If I'm the better parent, if I earn more money, I'm still going to be the one to go to work. However, you said about being the better parent, you might decide to start. Even if I'm the best parent in the,
Right.
but if I earn higher, I'm still going to be the one to go to work. I think it
Mm.
comes down to the
No, I'm
financial.
talking. No, you're the man. You
Yeah.
earn less, okay, but you're the better parent.
No, just because I earn less can make me stay at home. Not because I'm the
Yeah.
better parent. I can be the better parent if I earn
Okay.
higher and still
Yeah,
go to work.
Right.
he's
I
got
think
other. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I think that I think for me, I would still like, even if that man is the better parent
Yeah.
and he earned less, I will still appreciate the little that he earns, if that makes sense. So I would still want him to do something. Not, and it's not just for my benefit, it's just to prove to our kids as well that, you know, it doesn't necessarily matter what you're bringing to the table as long as you're bringing something, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Is the caring of the children not bringing something to the table?
yeah, but I would be caring for the kids as well. Like, so when I'm at home, it doesn't mean that he will still be all hands on with the children. I will take part in the situation, in caring for the children as well. So I think the important thing is to have that balance. You know, that it doesn't matter what you're bringing to the table. You might be bringing little. I think as long as you're bringing, because I genuinely feel that it makes that individual feel valid.
Do you know what? You've got a you've got a good point actually, because I've got a specific example. And this sort of happened quite a few years ago. There was a gentleman that used to work he used to work for me, and this was the first time I saw a man use the split maternity leave.
Yeah.
And the only reason was because he was working in the front line. His missus was a city lawyer, and she was earning miles more than he was. So
Right.
when they had the baby, he took the first 2 weeks paternity leave, but then she took the next 3 months, and then she went back to work, and he took the rest of the time off.
Right.
And in the short term, it wasn't a problem.
Right.
But longer term, it made the man step his game up. So he started looking for a way to move into management. So he started working hard, because I don't think he wanted to be in that situation when the
No.
next baby turned up. So he started working towards it. So, you know.
Okay, the way that men are always looking to step up their game when it comes to, you know, Ade said, you know, instead of me becoming a stay-at-home parent or being at home, I would rather step up my game, get an additional job. You know, you've talked about bringing something in, Talia. CJ's just spoken about, you know, stepping into management. Do you think that these kind of things are expected from society, they're expected by society for men compared to how they had the expectations for women? Are women just more likely to go into these roles and, you know, accept them more than men are?
I don't necessarily think it has anything to do with society. I think, yes, society does have a way of impinging on our thoughts, but I genuinely feel that there's no individuals that want to feel less worthy or less of a human being in a situation, especially in a relationship. I think that even as a woman, you know, as a woman, I find myself always striving to do more, always striving to do better. It's not because society would rather that I just stay in one place and carry on. But I think as human beings want to do more and better for themselves. I think, yes, society can have an impact, but it's not the ultimate. It's not it doesn't have the final say in how we run our lives.
So I'm just trying, because I pulled out the stay-at-home parent statistics earlier, and I forgot to copy it out. But women are more likely to be stay-at-home parents. Women are more
Absolutely.
likely to do part-time jobs.
Mm-hmm.
While men, you know, they just carry on with life and, you know, work their way to the top, while the
Mm-hmm.
woman, you know, takes the back seat. Do you not feel like society has something to do with that?
No, it's a maternal instinct. The reason why you want to be a stay-at-home mom is because you have that maternal nature to want to nurture your children. There is no, if say take me for instance. I want to do, even though I want to be that top executive, I still want to make sure that I spend all the time that I can with my kids. Now, that's the maternal part of me, wanting to make sure that I give my children the best that I can as a mother. But that doesn't still limit the fact that I still want to do well in my career. So, you know, yeah, a lot of women don't have that drive when it comes to career, so they just settle for the maternal side. But there's a lot of women out there that actually have that drive.
Do you think it impacts the children, CJ? Do you think that it
Well,
impacts the children in the homes where the mums are, say stay-at-home parents, for example? Do you think it impacts what children then tend to want to go ahead and do later in life? Does this cycle then, continue of women wanting to take lesser roles, wanting to be maternal, and wanting to take the back seat? Really, do you think
I
it
mean,
has an impact?
first of all, let me just say I agree with Talia, that it's hardwired into us to for women to be more maternal, and
Wired
want to
by
look after
who?
the kids a bit better. Well,
It's our
nature.
DNA.
By
It's
Yeah,
our
it's
DNA.
hardwired by
Yeah.
nature. Yeah. Now, just to get back to your question, it's still the same question about nature and nurture, and I think you find that it's both of them that come together to make the child become what they eventually become. Now, the woman will play a part, because for the most part, if she's a stay-at-home mom, she's spending more time with the child, so her influences will bring the child up in a certain way. But also the man will play a part, where you have a family unit. The man will play a part because, again, what he instills in the child helps the child while they're growing up. But there's more to it than just the man and the woman that sort of determines what the child ends up being. The society, so it's a combination of things.
Listen to CJ, I kind of agree with him. I mean, like what I said earlier, we
Ade,
are.
let me ask you something. I wanted to ask you something. So we have sayings in our culture that says the good child belongs to the to the
Yeah.
dad,
To the dad.
yeah, and the bad child belongs to the mom. I strongly believe that it is things like these that kind of bring about sayings like that the duty of raising children are left mostly to women. I don't want to say any percentage. I have a percentage in my head, but it's not fact, so I'm not going to state it. However, I do feel like I have friends, sometimes they will call me and they'll be like, oh, and they have husbands at home, and they'll be like, oh, I had to take this boy here, and then I had to take this one here. And in my head, even though I'm like, oh, sorry, in my head, I'm thinking,
What's
but
he doing?
have a partner.
But do you know that majority of the time is because the woman wants to do it?
No, not well. Even if she wants to, maybe you should volunteer to. I'm not sure
So,
she will turn it down.
so
I
for
mean, as a
me,
as a
I was
partner,
I will speak for me because I have kids that are in that age that are going to this and this and this and
Yeah.
this. I enjoy taking them to their activities because it makes me feel like I'm doing,
yeah,
it
Part of
makes
it.
me, I love just being
Yeah.
part of that development that they have.
yeah,
Not saying that if I asked my husband to take them, he wouldn't.
yeah,
He
absolutely,
wouldn't necessarily volunteer. I
yeah,
think that's because he sees that I enjoy it so much. So when I come back, I'm like, oh, this one did this and this one did that, and he can see the joy that I
absolutely,
have. So
absolutely.
I think that women love to do these things. It's not because
Well, that is from your perspective because you enjoy it. Obviously, not everybody has the is fortunate enough to be able to have a husband that they can say go and do this and he will get up and go and do
no,
it.
I'm not saying that they
No, no,
don't, but most women love doing that part of their
yeah,
children. Yeah,
yeah. I think I do believe that many women, I don't know about most, but I do believe that many women,
I think most.
enjoy actually being taking care of everything because it gives them what's funny.
He said, I think
No,
most.
carry on, please.
No, it's
Carry-
definitely most.
Yeah.
What did
It's
you say?
definitely most.
She just had to chip in something. I think most. You said many. She said, I think most.
Oh, did she chip that in?
I
Yeah.
did. I think
Well, that's
most.
fine. I mean, we can disagree on that. There's no statistic anywhere to prove that. So, I mean, I could be wrong and she could be wrong. But I think that for me, I think that women have just been conditioned to believe
By,
that okay, what?
by
He said
who?
by who?
By society, by the way
Oh,
things have been done.
It's not
No,
society.
I don't. Well, I
nature.
don't.
Man that's
Can
carrying
I?
the breast
This is
is
my
never
opinion, guys. Guys,
it's woman that's
guys,
carrying breast.
guys.
Why the
This is
breast taking go? My
I,
business.
this is Tay's opinion.
Okay.
Okay. I do not, you can air your opinion and I will let you, say whatever it is that you want to say. I mean, we can agree on this. This is a debate show.
Fine.
However, I genuinely believe that society from back in the day, as somebody has said before, the men were going out to bring bread, the women were the carers of the home. That's how society has been. That's how everything has been. Women have been the carers of the home, they've been the carers of the children, they've been the ones to make sure that things are done. Hence why, we have sayings like I mentioned earlier. I genuinely believe that it's the way society has
I
that's been a cycle, huh?
I disagree when you say society.
Okay.
I think it's natural as well. You
I
guys
think
have the
it's
breast.
natural.
The baby will go for the breast milk. They won't come to the man. Emotionally, you guys carry the baby for 9 months. You have, it's difficult. It's natural. That's what
I
it is.
think it's natural.
You've carried somebody
Do
for
you
9
think it's natural to every woman?
No.
It's not natural
no.
to every woman, no.
Yes,
CJ, do you think it's natural to every woman to feel the maternal and I want to do everything, I want to be in control? Do you think so?
For the most part, yes, but you always have the exception that disproves the rule, and that's where you talk about women that don't have a maternal instinct.
Right.
So that comes into play. But for the most part, you'd expect a woman to have that innately in her.
You'd expect a woman to have that in her.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's our genetic makeup. We have
Absolutely.
this X and Y chromosomes. They're hormones it's hormones. It's nothing that society has put in us.
Anyway, I think I just, to kind of pull this to a close and to kind of round up, I don't think it should matter who stays at home. I think that what should matter is the conversation that's been had between both couples and both individuals in the relationship or in the marriage, and what is best for the children. So assuming that
I think that's just this civilization again that we're trying to really bring into play. You're right, it doesn't really matter who stays at home.
if I as a woman I'm not maternal and my husband enjoys caring for the children, who's to say that is civilization or anything? No, it's the DNA, as you said earlier.
But
That's
what
just
about if your husband that enjoys caring for the children also wants to work?
Yes. What if he also wants to work? Then obviously he can work.
Exactly.
That's why I said it's what's best and what's in the interest of the children. If my husband staying at home will be best for them in terms of, okay, if I have to pay childcare of 1,200 a month and he earns £1,000 and I earn £5,000, you best believe that he will be sitting at home to take care of the children, because we can't
But
live
what
on.
about but that's the thing though. Because see, you've just said it. He should stay at home because he earns £1,000
Yeah,
and
because it makes financial sense.
So how
you earn 5,000. What about if you're taking away his ability to feel like a man by saying, well, you're staying at home because I earn far more than you?
Well, that's
What
you go.
about if he wants to go and work just to pay for the childcare?
Okay,
If he
then he
wants
can
to
do
go and
that. Then he can do. Then
Exactly.
absolutely. That is true. That could
So
be an
you
option.
saying that you best believe that he's going to stay at home, that's a
Because
bit.
it makes financial sense. Because if I were the person if I were earning £1,200 and childcare, best believe I would be sitting at home taking care of the child. The difference is when
Even if you really feel like going out there to mingle so that you can feel like a person, so that you can feel like.
Yes, because it doesn't make financial sense. Because I'll tell you, that's not where it ends. It doesn't just end up paying the childcare. It ends at other things that need to be.
Women that are stay-at-home mums that actually are miserable as sin because it makes financial sense.
People are miserable
Sorry,
working through COVID.
can I just jump in there?
that I have seen that have attempted suicide because they're stay-at-home moms and they're miserable.
And people have burnouts from going to work every day. We can push this back and forth. People are having burnouts.
I do have a point though, and it's about sort of the conversation you two were just talking about, and it's about women who are stay at home, but end up being in relationships that they would rather leave because they're entirely reliant on the man who's out there working. Now, I think in some ways, if it's just about childcare, then you should do something about it so that the childcare is taken care of. But then it gives you an opportunity to do something with yourself outside the stay-at-home tag. That way, if anything goes wrong, you can rely on yourself.
I do definitely believe that everybody should be self-sufficient. You should have enough to be able to walk away from any, abusive or any relationship that you don't want to be in. Definitely, I do believe everybody should work. I just believe that when it comes to a position where a choice has to be made between, who goes to work, I don't think that we should say because you're going to emasculate the man, where a choice has to be made, where one person legit has to sit at home and care for the children. We should say because we don't want to emasculate a man, he's going to go to work and be bringing.
When K finishes, CJ, contrary to what you said, I kind of disagree with you because the whole point of one parent staying at home would be mainly due to childcare. That'll be the main reason.
Yes, but that's the point though. If it's just due to childcare and the woman can go out and work and the man can go out and work and they pay for childcare, then that takes away the problem.
I think that makes the point invalid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That takes away. That's what I'm saying. That takes away the problem.
The problem of both stay at home.
There's only going to be one reason for somebody out of the two of you to stay at home would be mainly due to childcare.
We're really talking about
I agree.
the fact that
so
obviously
the argument is who's going to stay at home to do that childcare. You're saying to childcare out.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
The best case scenario would be to eliminate the problem. But where the problem persists, where the problem is still there, where a choice has to be made, should I say that I'm going to not want to emasculate my husband, so he should stay at home? No, he should go out to work and bring in £1,000 and maybe do some Pizza Hut deliveries in the evenings for £2 per delivery, just because I don't want to emasculate him. Should it matter? That's the point.
That's where that conversation needs to be had, and it needs to be had in a environment where you expect some positive outcome from it, as opposed to where it appears a bit more confrontational, for example, so that you actually get the best out of it. But the important thing is to have that conversation and see what makes A, economic sense, and B, makes this good sense for bringing up the child.
Financial sense even.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think that in different words, and we're all saying the same thing, really. The only difference is I think that if it makes sense for it to be a man who sits at home, then he should please sit at home and raise his children. It's not a job for women only. So that brings us to the end of this segment. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you, Talia. Thank you, CJ, and thank you, Ade, for coming back on.
Thank you.
We appreciate your take on this. Thank you to our viewers for watching as well. Please give this a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Let us know your opinion in the comment section. It's really important that we do, because this has been quite, we've had different takes on this. So please let us know your thoughts in the comment section, and we'll catch you on our next video. Bye, guys.
Bye.